At midnight on your 18th birthday, something does change. Just not in you. A field in a government database updates. Your age category shifts in systems you've never seen and will probably never think about. Permissions unlock in institutions you may not interact with for weeks or years. A form you'll fill out someday will now route differently. That's the event. That's the whole of it. Nothing in your body marks the hour. No region of the brain completes its construction on schedule. You wake up with the same handwriting, the same anxieties, the same inability to make a phone call without rehearsing it first. And for a lot of people, that's the disorienting part. Not the flatness itself, but the suspicion that the flatness means something is wrong with them. That everyone else got the feeling and they didn't. If the only real event is administrative, the more interesting question is why an entire culture treats it like something enormous. Start with the number. 18 wasn't derived from developmental science. No researcher measured the exact age when judgment stabilizes and landed on that figure. It's a legal coordinate, a line drawn by legislators who needed one clean, non-negotiable cutoff to administer millions of people fairly. A bureaucracy can't ask whether you personally are ready. It can only ask what the date on your document says. You can see the arbitrariness most clearly in how badly the line holds together. Adulthood isn't one threshold, even within law. Voting, signing a contract, drinking, serving on a jury, renting a car, being tried as an adult, these come apart from each other. Some arrive at 18. Some arrive years earlier. Some are held back until 21 or 25. Not because a different mental capacity switches on then, but because insurers, lawmakers, and public health arguments landed in different places. Cross a border and the whole configuration rearranges. A person considered fully adult in one country is a partial adult in another, with the same brain on the same day. If 18 described something real about human development, it would be the same everywhere. It isn't. It's a filing convention. That would be perfectly boring, except we didn't leave it as a filing convention. We wrapped a story around it. Almost every version of that story is about transformation. A threshold crossed, a door closing behind you. Films, novels, family jokes, the phrasing on birthday cards, all pointing the same direction. On this date, you become someone. The number was administrative. The meaning stacked on top of it was mythic. And myths make promises that paperwork never made. That's the setup for the disappointment. You're waiting for an internal event that was never scheduled, because the only thing scheduled was a category change. Psychology has a name for the shape of that mistake. The arrival fallacy, the belief that reaching a milestone will produce a lasting change in how you feel. It shows up around graduations, promotions, moving to a new city, finishing something enormous. People genuinely expect the destination to hold a permanent shift, and it rarely does. What usually happens instead is a brief spike of feeling that fades back toward wherever you normally sit. Researchers call this hedonic adaptation. We return to baseline, and we return faster than we predict. There's a second habit layered underneath. We're used to thinking in discrete steps. You're either 18 or you're not, either licensed or not, either legally responsible or not. So when we imagine maturing, we quietly expect it to behave the same way, to have an edge, to be crossable. The actual process has no edge. Brain development, especially in the regions linked to impulse control and long-term planning, continues well past 18, broadly into the early to mid-20s, by most current evidence. That doesn't make an 18-year-old defective or unfinished. It means the process is gradual, uneven, and completely indifferent to your calendar. You can't feel a gradient move. There's no sensation attached to becoming 3% better at delaying gratification over 8 months. That's where the thing you were waiting for actually lives. If you want to find the transition, don't look at the birthday, look back from some ordinary moment a few years later. Handling a problem that would have flattened you at 16. Noticing you're the one calming someone else down. Realizing you booked the appointment without rehearsing it first. Nobody announces those moments. They only become visible in hindsight, built out of hundreds of unremarkable days that felt like nothing while you were living them. That's the real shape of it. Adulthood isn't an event you attend. It's a pattern you recognize afterward. The flatness of that birthday wasn't a failure of feeling, and it wasn't evidence that you were behind. It was accurate. The date changed the record. You were changing on a completely different timetable, one that doesn't send notification. If you've been sitting with a milestone that didn't deliver what it promised, that's worth remembering. And if this made the last few years look a little different in hindsight, stay with the channel. That's most of what we do here.